Yo, what's going on, Nerd Swag and Universe? It is I, Steven Savelli, representing hashtag Nerd Swag, and I'm here with Ashtin, and we're going to bring to you the Nerd Swag Nerd Chat, Episode 2. How you doing, Ashtin?
I'm doing good. How
You doing good?
are you doing? I'm doing great.
That's all you're doing? Just kicking it?
Yeah, I'm doing fantastic. It's getting better by the second.
Good. All right, guys. So just a reminder, our website, www.hashtagnerdswag.com. You got to spell it hashtag, because if you do a pound sign in a browser, it's not going to go anywhere. So hashtagnerdswag.com. We have our Facebook and our Twitter links down here. Later in the show, at the very end, after we go over news and rumors and releases and stuff like that, we're going to open up to Q&A session. So if you have any questions that you'd like us to answer, or you have any comments or whatever, leave it in the Q&A section on the Google Plus Hangout or on the YouTube channel where we're streaming live. And then also the end, Ashton, are we going to play a game?
Oh yeah, I think it's called Rewind Reboot. Isn't that what it's called?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're doing Rewind Reboot. So what Rewind Reboot is we're going to take 3 different franchises from pop culture, whether they were on TV or in movies from the past. We're going to give 3, and then Ash and I are going to pick one that we would make into a live-action movie today. So that'll be fun. That'll be the end of the show. We'll play a fun nerd game. If you want to submit a Rewind Reboot, submit 3 franchises in the questions section. Just use the Rewind Reboot words, and we'll catch them. And we might answer some at the end. So, you ready to get into this, Ashton?
I am down. I am ready.
All right, so let's do this. The first thing we're going to talk about is DC Comics. Last week, Marvel Comics conquered the news websites and everyone talking. DC finally this week had any news at all, which isn't much. It seems like the only time, or when, DC wants news, they just release a photo of Batman. They just released Ben Affleck as Batman. So did you see the photo of the butt chin Batman?
Yeah, I did. It looked pretty good. It's not much to go off of yet, since the movie is still a long ways out, but it looks pretty good. I'm excited to see what Ben Affleck brings to the table as Batman.
Yeah, he's just like looking down like this.
Yeah.
And then it's like this much of him, and it's colored, but not really. You just
Yeah.
see his skin tone, but barely.
Yeah.
Not
It's
much to it.
definitely it's definitely shaping up to be a darker Batman than all the previous renditions, from what it
Oh,
looks like.
yeah, definitely. It's based off the Frank Miller Batman where he's old and pissed off. Yeah. I
Mm.
like that kind of Batman. That kind of Batman's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so DC their go-to is Batman. Let's release another photo of Batman. Marvel's doing all this cool stuff, and what's here's a photo of Batman. Like that's all they have.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
And then we have somebody this week who is trying to create some promo for Batman, and that's Dwayne Johnson, The Rock.
Yeah.
He tweeted out again another secret cryptic Shazam tweet and picture. So he posted a picture to his Twitter that was Shazam, Superman, and Black Adam, and said like somebody's about to get it. Are you interested in seeing The Rock in the DC universe?
As long as they give him a good character to portray that fits his acting abilities. Um, it looks like he's gonna be Black Adam. He's definitely not gonna be Shazam. Um, with all these tweets he's been coming out with saying, stuff about Shazam. It's definitely gonna happen. It just we just don't know what character he's gonna be yet.
Yeah, I really hope he's Black Adam. He looks like Black Adam. It would be funny if they try to make him Shazam.
Yeah, that wouldn't work.
It would be weird because Shazam's a kid, right? So Shazam's a kid or a group of kids, depending which DC comic you're reading. And the little kid's Shazam, and he turns into a superhero, but he's still kind of youthful and playful. It'd be weird for a little kid to be like Shazam, and all of a sudden they turn into The Rock. That would just, I just,
It'd be pretty funny.
well, it would be funny. Well, the thing is, Black Adam does that too, right? So I don't know. I just don't see The Rock being Shazam. It sounds ridiculous.
Yeah, we'll see. They'll probably change up the story a little bit to make it fit a little better.
Yeah, and the last thing that really the DC has done at Comic-Con, Comic-Con's a huge deal. It's San Diego Comic Con's international. It's the event for movies and comics nowadays, and even TV shows. Um, and DC's really just going headstrong on their TV shows. Constantine, Flash, and Arrow season 3. Other than that, they're not really bringing that much to Comic Con. I'm pretty surprised.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like DC is trying to play a lot of catch up right now with Marvel, since Marvel kind of got the first leg with all their superheroes and becoming Avengers and stuff. It feels like, every time they, like you said, every time they come out with something, Marvel does, DC just, post a picture of Batman because that's all they have right now. So that's why they're moving really fast to get this Justice League stuff up so they are relevant, compared to Marvel.
Yeah, so whenever they want something, they post a picture of Batman. It breaks the internet. Like, it's the number one trending topic in the world anytime a new Batman photo is released, but that's only going to work so many times.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you brought up Justice League. The only other news we have from DC, which isn't really news, is that Warner Brothers is looking to get the writer for Argo to write Justice League. And I'm assuming that's because of their relationship with Ben Affleck, but I mean, not much to say about that, I guess.
Yeah, not as of right now, but yeah, like you said, it's probably has to do with a lot of Ben Affleck, since he worked with him in Argo.
Yeah, it's rough, man. We're having to reach to talk about DC during Comic Con weekend.
Yeah.
Uh, Obviously, it's the middle of Saturday, and Comic Con goes farther than where we are right now in the weekend.
Yeah.
But you think they would make their big pop at the beginning.
Oh
So,
yeah, yeah.
all right, I guess that's it for Marvel. So let's jump over to, or that's it for DC. Let's jump over to Marvel. Um, they posted an Ant-Man movie poster this week,
Yeah.
and that movie doesn't even have all the cast yet, and they're already releasing posters.
Yeah, they gotta hype it somehow, now that it's pretty much a Avengers weekend. So, they're gonna hype all their Marvel characters. It's pretty much just a short snippet of Paul Rudd, and I can't remember the other actor's name. And then it shows Ant-Man, what he's presumably gonna look like, and then it shows him riding on one of the ants. I really don't know how this is gonna go over. Um, I know they did get rid of their director because they wanted to go in a little bit of a different direction, probably to have it tie in with the rest of the characters a little better, and maybe make the plot a little better so people can really relate to it and not think it's a joke. Because a guy shrinking down and riding on ants and bugs is not something you really think of as a Marvel character being that.
Yeah. Honey, I Shrunk My Superheroes.
Yeah.
Uh, Ant-Man's he's to me he's a terrible character in comics too. So not only do I think he doesn't translate to film, but I don't think he even is
Yeah.
needed in comic books.
I don't think he's needed either.
So I'm not a big Ant-Man fan. I'm not a big no. Mm-mm. And Paul Rudd's awesome, and he does have a good comedic tone to play that character. He totally fits Ant-Man perfect. But if Ant-Man is not going to be the guy that creates Ultron like he does in the comic books, he's
What
the
is
one who builds Ultron and Vision. If he's not going to be that guy, and they're using Tony Stark to do that, why do we need Ant-Man? I guess in the
Well,
universe.
there has been rumors that Tony Stark is going to get killed off, so they might be using Ant-Man to fill that void as the scientist along with Bruce Banner.
Yeah, that's true. There's also rumors this weekend that they're going to announce Iron Man 4. So we'll see.
Yeah,
We'll
we'll
see where
see.
this all
Yeah,
goes. Yeah, it's fun to talk about in the middle of the weekend. Actually, a little more fun than having all the facts. But
yeah,
uh, I don't see it, but hopefully it's good. They
yeah.
haven't
Hopefully.
made a bad movie yet, really.
Yeah, I agree.
So, all right, we talked way longer about the Ant-Man poster than I ever thought we would. The Ant-Man poster is not that important. That's so awesome,
Yeah,
but not a lot of people know about it, and really people aren't interested. So,
yeah.
all
I
right,
can see that being the lowest grossing Marvel movie.
for sure, no doubt. All right, so next up, let's stay on the track with posters. Avengers: Age of Ultron posters. They are now officially all released. They all make one giant poster. Any just general thoughts about Avengers: Age of Ultron, the posters, and what you saw? Anything?
This movie is going to be freaking awesome. That's all I can say. Just by that poster, I get so excited looking at that, and I'm like, man, I cannot wait for this movie to get released.
So, what was your favorite image on the posters?
Um, let's
Like any of the heroes stand out, and you're like, damn, that looks
my
amazing.
least favorite would have to be Hawkeye. He's looked like he's just getting owned by those Ultron army. But my favorite would have to be I would have to say it's Iron Man, and also seeing the Vision too is pretty awesome.
Yeah, for me, it it's almost they released the Quicksilver poster, and
Hmm.
Quicksilver is new to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, not X-Men obviously, but Marvel. And
Yeah.
they released the Quicksilver poster. He's like the main focus of it, and no one's talking about Quicksilver. All they're talking about is the image is or the image Vision in the background floating above the Ultron drones. That's what everyone's talking about. To me, that's my favorite part. There's so much mystery to it. All we see is his back and his cape. And you can
Yeah.
barely tell that he's green and yellow. Um, that's I don't know why. It's like out of focus. It's just something about it super intriguing to me. That's my favorite part of the poster.
Yeah, I mean it's the whole poster's pretty sweet, but yeah, seeing that mystery that we see with Vision is definitely something that intrigues you and makes fans excited. So
Yeah, it's super exciting. All right, next up for Marvel. See, we just have we can't stop talking about Marvel because they're doing so much right now.
oh yeah, and
James
they're doing it
Gunn,
right too.
the director of Guardians of the Galaxy, has officially signed on for a second Guardians of the Galaxy. The movie's not out yet, but everyone's reviewing it like it's the best, if not, or one of the best, if not the best Marvel release to date. So that's pretty awesome for James Gunn. They took a huge risk making Guardians because no one knows what Guardians is.
Hmm. Yeah,
Any thoughts on James Gunn?
it's projected to do really well. I, I I'm definitely seeing this movie when it comes out, like right off the bat. Um, all the reviews say it's going to be really good. Um, and I really think it helps with the characters that they have and the people who they have playing the characters. Rocket Raccoon looks hilarious. Zoe Saldana is always good being an alien.
That's all she
And
is, man.
yeah, and I mean, it just looks
She's
like
really
it's
good
a
in
good.
Crash too, right? She was in Crash.
Oh,
Was
dude,
that
I
Zoe
forgot
Saldana?
about that.
Was she in Crash? No, that wasn't her.
Was that not her?
No, that
Yeah,
wasn't her.
that is a good movie. That's a
That's a
great
good
movie.
movie.
But
Anyway, but yeah, it's a great cast.
yeah, great cast, and I think that's what's gonna definitely make the movie.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm seeing it on Thursday at 7 p.m. The first IMAX 3D showing. We are there. We already have our tickets, my fiance and I,
Yeah.
and we're gonna go see it. Come home and record a video review for our YouTube channel.
Oh, nice. We'll definitely have to watch.
Yeah, I'm pretty dang excited. It's gonna be spoiler free, obviously, because we're putting it up before the weekend even starts. But
Yeah.
it'll just be our general vibe for it. And if we like the movie, but we're gonna love it, and we have a connection. I mean, Chris Pratt went to high school with us. I mean, come on, we
I know,
we're
right?
gonna be a little biased, but I'm pretty sure the movie's gonna be pretty great.
Yeah. Little off topic. I found out from my mother that Chris Pratt used to actually go down the street to one of my friend's house. Friend's house is like right down the street. My sister used to hang out with him.
Yeah,
I'm like, this is so weird. Like this guy like was literally like probably like a football field away from me at times, and
dude,
he's like a famous actor.
what's that one thing called? Like uh the six separation thing? Like you know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, you can connect to anyone in the world.
Oh
What's
yeah, yeah,
what's
I
that
know what you're
called?
talking about.
The
I don't
six
know.
signs of separation, or whatever it's called. Anyway, by Chris Pratt being involved near where we used to live, we could probably get to anyone pretty quick within like 4 or 5 connections. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, that's pretty cool. And the last thing that we're gonna talk about for Marvel is Joaquin Phoenix, my man, the best villain of all time in Gladiator, is rumored to be who Marvel wants to play Doctor Stephen Strange. That freaking pumps me up. A lot of people, there's Cumberbatch has been in the mix, Johnny Depp has been in the mix. Please, for the life of Marvel, pick Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, I mean that's a perfect fit. I saw you post a picture of him next to Doctor Strange, and I'm like, yeah, that's a really good fit. He's still pretty young, so he can make several movies without worrying about his age, kind of like what Robert Downey Jr. is doing right now. But yeah, I
hmm
hope they definitely go with that. That would be a perfect fit, I think.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that being a possibility. It might just come down to if it's not if Marvel's interested in him, it's if he's interested in being in Marvel. That's probably what it'll come down to.
Oh yeah, I would imagine he would be too, with all the success Marvel's had over the past, I
Well,
would.
we know he has a weird thing about not liking money because he stopped acting for 5 years and made a weird documentary that was fake.
Yeah, that has.
Right? He's kind of a
Yes.
weirdo about that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess we'll see then.
Yeah, we'll see. That's the only thing that worries me. I'm like, yeah, he'd be perfect, but he's kind of weird. He made that rap documentary where he was a rapper and tried selling his CD to P Diddy and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know.
Tell me you've seen that.
No, I have not seen that, but sounds pretty crazy. I might have
That's
to look that
awesome.
up.
He did. He went on an acting sabbatical, man. He grew out his beard like down to like his chest, and then he became a rapper. And the whole documentary is about him trying to make it in rap. It came out like, oh man, three plus years ago.
That was
Um,
real. He really tried to become a rapper.
well, that's the thing. People don't know if it's real or fake. It was directed by Casey Affleck.
What?
We'll talk about this. We'll talk about this after. You got to watch this.
Okay.
All right. All right, and that's it for Marvel. That's it for comic books and superheroes, at least for now, until we get to the end of the show. So just a reminder, we're going to do an open forum question and answer session at the end of our live broadcast. So if you have any questions that you'd like us to answer, just go ahead and pop them in the Q&A section in the Google Live Hangout or on our YouTube channel. We'll check that at the end to see if there are any questions submitted. And also at the end, we're going to play Rewind Reboot, where we pick 3 franchises from the past and try to pick which one we think should be a live action movie today. So don't miss out on that. All right, next thing is we're going to jump over to video games, console gaming, just for really 2 things. The Destiny beta went live all across the world for PS3, Xbox 360, Xbox One, PS4. You don't need a beta code anymore. It's live for the weekend. So if you have any of those consoles, you should really go play it
Wait,
because
it's live on PS3 and the Xbox 360?
yes, yesterday at 4 p.m., they were like, you know what? Let's open it up to everybody. And they just opened their servers up to everyone. You don't need a beta code.
I am gonna go play that.
Yeah, you should play it. It's very, very good. The campaign's really cool. It's like playing Mass Effect and uh, it's like Mass Effect, Halo, Call of Duty, and like Guild Wars, like an MMORPG all together.
It kind of looks like Borderlands in a way too.
Yeah, there's some Borderlands gameplay. Yeah, that's a shooter game that you upgrade and buy armor and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's all I want to say. Go play Destiny. It's open to everyone.
yeah, I'm
All right, next,
excited now.
the next video game news is The Last of Us, which is a PlayStation exclusive. It finally got announced for sure. They're making a The Last of Us movie. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
It's really cool for a PlayStation franchise. Uncharted's getting movie too, so they're really going for these PlayStation exclusives and making them into movies.
yeah. Naughty
Uh,
Dog is about to be rolling in the dough right now.
Naughty Dog is about to be rolling in the dough.
Yeah.
So the character, if you guys have played it, it's well, first off, it's directed by Sam Raimi, who did the original Spider-Man franchise. So they got a good director on this. And then also the girl or the person that's gonna play Ellie, the little girl in the well, she's not a little girl, she's 14-year-old girl in the game, is Macy Williams, and that's Arya Stark from Game of Thrones. So she's gonna be so perfect for this post-apocalyptic The Last of Us. It's kind of like a zombie-ish movie. This would be
Yeah.
pretty cool.
The only thing I'm worried about is they really just don't need to change anything. They really just need to take cues from the game that's already been there and just make it into a movie. That's the only thing I'm worried about. But other than that, if they do that, it'll be a great movie.
Yeah, because the game is kind of like playing a movie. It's just
Yeah,
very cinematically centered game. It's very linear and it's like playing a movie basically. So
yeah,
it makes sense why a studio would pick it up because they're like, hey, this is already a movie. Let's just
yeah,
make
it's
this.
easy. Yeah.
It's like having one 5 hour long storyboard. Yeah. Okay, so Walking Dead season 5 trailer came out at Comic Con. You're not a big Walking Dead fan.
No, I have not watched any Walking Dead. Actually, I've watched like the first season and I kind of got bored of it. So
You watched the first season and got bored. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for admitting that. to the world
Well, I
that
mean,
you.
I'm not a big TV guy, you know. Like the only thing I ever watch on TV is like Sports Center, and then everything else is just Netflix or Hulu, and that's about it. So
Hey, it is what it is, man. You like what you like. Yep. So the Walking Dead season 5 trailer came out, I think yesterday. It looks really awesome. What I'm excited for is it looks like they're not going to be locked in a container for the whole season. It looks like there's actually, I mean, from what we saw in the trailer, it looks like a lot of really awesome action, awesome acting, and awesome special effects. And they're finally going to Washington, D.C. to try to cure the disease. So there's no more zombies. As I'm watching this trailer and they're going to Washington, D.C. to try to cure the infection or whatnot, it makes me really think like, how do you end that show unless either A, they cure it and civilization starts rebuilding, or B, everyone dies? Like, I wonder what their vision was for the show when they started it, other than The Walking Dead's a popular comic, let's make it a show. There's no real ending to it, it just would go on forever. So
yeah. Hmm.
I hope they move to the direction where they just cap it at like a season 7 and it's over and they actually finish the story. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of these zombie things, like kind of World War Z. They have the books. I'm not gonna spoil what happens in that, but there's definitely a definitive ending, and
Yep.
it would definitely be nice if they would follow the same suit and either pick, humanity is going to thrive and they're gonna rebuild, or the rest of the people die, and that's just the end of the world right there.
Yeah, totally. I please let there be an ending. Okay. That's it for Comic-Con stuff, news. That's wow, almost all of that besides the Destiny beta was Comic-Con. Big weekend for nerd and pop culture really. Pretty cool stuff. So I want to turn it over to you because anime and manga not really represented at Comic-Con International in San Diego. I'm really bummed because I live an hour and a half away from there and I'm not there. But I'm excited to be talking to you right now. That's
Yeah,
exciting stuff. Yeah.
absolutely.
So do you want to cover off on any anime and manga news that we don't know
Um,
about that happened this week?
There are definitely two stories that are pretty big. The first one is Legend of Korra, which was actually at Comic Con, but that's not really considered anime and manga. It is getting taken off the air of Nickelodeon for the rest of the season, but it is being played on their online website. So for now on, every Friday, there's going to be one new episode instead of two, and it's going to be streamed online. Like I said last time, the ratings have just been really bad on
Yeah.
TV, but they said that the ratings that they get online are, if not more than double of what they get from TV. So they're just going to stream it, and people are just, I don't know how they make profit off that. Probably advertisements and stuff from their website, but yeah, they haven't released what they're going to do for season four. When it comes to TV or streaming online, they haven't been able to talk about it because they're still discussing that. But that is the state of Legend of Korra right now. Um,
That's crazy, man.
yeah,
Like that show, it it got so much hype. We were just talking about this last week, and people
yeah,
love that show, and I'm shocked. I'm actually shocked to find out they're canceling it. I mean, they're not canceling it, but they're not gonna broadcast it on
yeah.
their network, their TV network. It's only gonna be online.
Yeah,
That's
like
crazy, man.
like we said last time, I think it's just on the wrong network, to be honest. I think Nickelodeon is just not the right place for it. Um, and the fact that, online, people watching stuff online is becoming the norm now. TV's, eventually going to fade out into just being, services like Hulu, Netflix.
Yeah.
So,
It makes sense. You're not going to come across the Legend of Korra TV show when you're searching through your TV guide. You're not going to go to Nickelodeon if you're, an adult or even
yeah,
like
exactly.
15. But you will find it if you're searching for Legend of Korra online. So I guess that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. So,
Hmm.
yeah, that's that for right now. And the second big news is the Naruto manga anime. It's coming to an end this year. So
Wow,
uh,
really?
yes, it's going to. They said it's going to be done by October because they just announced that there's going to be a new movie called Naruto. It's going to be called The Last. So it's pretty much going to be an epilogue of the story. It's going to be several years after. We don't know how many years, but we have seen drawings, like sketch drawings of the character of Naruto, and he looks noticeably older. So
Okay.
it's going, yeah, it looks like it'll be nice. It'll probably tie into the actual anime and manga because most movies that come in to anime and manga, I don't know if you know this, don't really um,
Don't follow
follow
the
the
story, right?
story, and yeah, they don't really make any sense. So this one is actually going to be a continuation and kind of just a wrap up the whole series for everybody who's followed it for like the past 10 years.
Okay.
So,
And it's gonna, like you said, this is gonna be an animated movie, obviously.
yes,
It,
yeah.
would you ever want to see a live action movie, or would it
I don't
just
know if they'd
look
be able to do it.
super corny?
It would probably be super corny. Yeah.
Even if the graphics were impeccable and exactly what you wanted, it would still be weird, right? Or maybe not.
Yeah, it would. They'd really have to change up the characters in order to get it to become, something people would want to watch. But then it
Yeah.
would just make everybody mad who enjoys it because they're gonna be like, oh, you changed the character. It's not, who I grew up reading and
Okay.
watching. So
Yeah, fair enough, I guess. Is that it for anime and manga news for this week?
yeah,
Yeah?
those are the big things. I'll also have more
Okay.
news on Monday
All
for
right,
you.
more news on Monday for the anime weekly recap on our YouTube channel, right?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. All right, well, that's it for all the main stuff that we want to cover this week. If you have questions that you want us to answer, to cover off on, or if you have comments for us, drop them right now in the Google Live Hangout or on the YouTube channel. Right now, it looks like we don't have any questions live, even though we have a bunch of viewers. Last week, we had a bunch of questions and comments dropped on us. This week's opposite. We got more viewers and no questions. Kind of interesting, right? So if you guys have questions, drop them down below because we're about to play the coolest nerd game on the internet today. And that is Nerd Swag Rewind Reboot. It's the funnest game. We just made it up. This is the first time we're doing it. But tell your friends that this is the coolest game for nerds on the internet. Rewind Reboot. What you want to do is if you want to submit a Rewind Reboot, go ahead in the comment section and type NSRR for Nerd Swag Rewind Reboot. Put a colon and then put 3 franchises that we decide that should be a live action movie today. So let's get into our first one, Ashton, and give people, an example of what the coolest game on the internet is right now. Rewind Reboot that we just made up today.
All right,
All right.
let's do.
So what this is, like I said, we're taking franchise from pop culture in the past. They had to either be a TV show or they had to be a movie before. It could be live action, it could be animated, it could be any of those things. We're going to take 3, and Ashton and I are each going to pick one that we think should be a live action movie today. And one that we would make if we had all the money in the world and could hire directors and actors. These 3 franchises today for Rewind Reboot are Thundercats, Ghostbusters, and Mega Man. Thundercats, Ghostbusters, Mega Man. Which one of those 3, Ashton, would you make a live action movie out of if you had the biggest budget in the world?
Oh, it would definitely be Thundercats. Thundercats, easy. Um, it's kind of that the same the same atmosphere as Guardians of the Galaxy with the different characters that you have. You have Chitara, you have Lion-O, and all the rest of the gang, and
Mm-hmm.
you could definitely make it like an action comedy with their cat. What is his name? Snarf. Is that his name?
Yep,
I believe.
Snarf. Yep, that's right.
Um, so
Lino. Oh,
yeah, I mean,
come on.
there obviously have to be some changes to it to make it less corny. You couldn't have that going off. The
Yeah.
Thundercats. Oh, yeah, that wouldn't fly.
You
But
can't take that out of the movie. Are you serious? You would take that out?
I don't know, man. I don't know if you can't have it happen more than once.
Yeah, it's
That's
got to be a one-time thing, man.
yeah.
You can't do Thundercats. Oh, more than once.
Especially, like it could be like an origin story too, to where he first finds the sword, and and that happens when he first finds it, and then it shows them coming together as the Thundercats. That would be pretty awesome.
You have to see one time him pull out the sword like this, have the Thundercats logo, and do the Thundercats. Oh,
The eye and the sword.
you have to.
Yeah, that
You
would be
can't
nice.
take that out. You have any idea of who you would like to be in it or direct it or no? Just Thundercats. You figure all that out later.
Or there is probably still on YouTube. There is this artless. This guy made a fan made trailer for
Oh, okay.
Thundercats, and it has Hugh Jackman as one of the guys, Vin Diesel as one of the guys, and there's a few. There's like a lot of
Really?
famous actors he picks, but it looks like legit because he takes Wolverine, but he like totally just like edits him to make him look like a cat, you
That's
know.
awesome.
And he does it with Vin Diesel in that movie. Where's the movie where he wears like the goggles and he's like on
Oh,
fire?
Pitch Black. Pitch
Yeah,
Black, man.
they take him and they make him look like that from Pitch Black. Um,
You'd be totally surprised, but Pitch Black's like one of my favorite movies of all time.
okay, well, yeah, well then I'm glad I asked you that question.
That's a great movie. I'm glad that you referenced that. You said goggles, and I know exactly what that movie was very quickly.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. But
but
no,
yeah,
he does kind of like the big blue guy.
yeah,
Um,
that's who they have him playing.
yeah, I don't remember his name, but I totally like you didn't have to say which character. Yeah, that's who he would be for sure.
Yeah. So
Would you
Thundercats
want
are
it to
way.
be? I guess so. Here's the question, right? This is what people always talk about with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, which they're making that movie out of. It's
Yeah.
should it be youthful and fun for kids, or should it be catered to people who are adults now who liked Power Rangers when they were kids, and should it be more mature and dark? So that's my question for you about Thundercats. Should it be kiddie and jokey, or should they cater to now the people that are adults that watched it when they were kids and make it more mature and dark and serious? Which one would you prefer?
It needs to be serious, but it has to. There needs to be a fine line they draw because it needs to have comedy aspects to it in order to broaden its audience. So it definitely needs to be made for us though. People who grew up with it, it needs to be catered to us first and foremost because Thundercats isn't even really a thing anymore.
True.
So if you were to release it and make it kiddie, it would do horrible because no kid knows what Thundercats is. But if you cater it to us, it's gonna do really well, and it'll already have a following because we already know about it, and it's gonna be more mature for our age group.
All right, fair enough. Just a reminder, guys, we're playing Rewind Reboot, and that's a game where we pick three franchises and decide on which one we would make into a movie, live action movie today. Ashton went with Thundercats. The three choices were Thundercats, Ghostbusters, and Mega Man. Um, I'm gonna go with Mega Man, dude. To the core. I'm gonna give myself a cheer for that. Yeah. So Thundercats sounds really cool, but there you'd have to CGI all of them. They're all like animal-looking things. You'd basically be watching a fully CGI'd movie. It'd be motion capture a little bit. You could do motion capture like they did Avatar, like they did Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, but the entire cast would be CGI. That's one of my reasons why I pick Iron Man or Iron Man. I would definitely make Iron Man. Yeah, why not? That's one of my favorites. That's why I'd pick Mega Man. Um, what I like about Mega Man is kind of like a Pinocchio story, right? It's like an old white guy that makes a living human kid, and there's a father-son relationship. There's also like a, I'm not a real person, but I have real person feelings. Um, Character development for Mega Man. I just think it would be really cool because you could just really flesh out a lot of characters, and I think the story would be really cool, right? Because there's a lot of elements to play with. Not only is there a guy with now powers that can shoot plasma blasts out of his arm, but there's villains too, and then yeah, there's the whole what makes a person a person? Is it because they have a conscience? Is it because they're humans? Is it because can a can an AI be a quote unquote person? And then the relationship with the father and son. With I forget what the doctor's name that makes Mega Man, but I just think they could do it today, and then you wouldn't have to do a lot of CGI. I mean, you would for Mega Man's suit and stuff, but you could have a lot of real actors in it, and I think that would relate to people a lot more. Yeah.
The only problem I have with that is I feel like that has been done before. Like you said with Pinocchio, they came out with the Astro Boy CGI movie a few years back, which is pretty much the exact same concept. And they just came out with the movie RoboCop, where he's fighting in between. Am I
Don't do
really
that.
a
Don't
robot?
do don't do that to me. Don't say RoboCop and my Mega Man in the same sentence.
So I don't know. It just kind of feels like it's kind of something that's been done before. So
I totally agree. I totally agree. The Mega Man movie, yeah, you could see pieces of it in each movie, but I don't think any of those movies did it right. And that's what I'm saying. That's why I would make Mega Man, is I would take that movie that has all those different, its thread in all those different movies, and I'd make it in one really amazing movie. And I would have Sean Connery be the old doctor. I don't know, I just made that up right now. It would just be fun.
All right. Well,
All
cheers
right,
to
that's
that.
it for I guess that's it for Nerd Swag reboot. None of us gave any love to Ghostbusters. Probably because Ghostbusters wasn't a cartoon that we watched when we were kids. I think that's what we went with this one.
Yeah.
So for future episodes, if you're watching this and you want to submit 3 franchises that we will do the rewind reboot debate for, go ahead and submit them in the comments below on our YouTube channel, and maybe it'll be the one that we pick for next week, and we'll give you a shout out for dropping a really good list. Remember, 3 franchises from pop culture that have been either a TV show or a movie in the past that we would debate which should be a live action movie today. Ashton with Thundercats. I felt it. I knew you were gonna do that, man.
Yeah, of course.
I could feel it coming. We didn't talk about it before. I'm glad we didn't pick the same one.
Yeah, that would have been bad.
That wouldn't have been fun at all for the first one ever. Anyway, you got anything else for the crew? People watching, Ashton?
I'm just surprised there was no questions asked today. Um, this one was like way smoother and way better than last week's, and we had a whole bunch of questions, and we have no questions this week. What's up with that?
Yeah. Well, we know there's people watching, so we want to thank you guys for watching. We always appreciate that, of course. And if you have questions later, just drop them below, and we'll probably respond in the YouTube comment section. But thank you guys all for watching. Ash and I super appreciate it. Remember to check our YouTube page, which is youtube.com/realnerdswag, where Ashton does anime and manga reviews. I do comic book and movie reviews. I'm going to see Lucy today at 1:55, which is like an hour from now. So I might do a movie review on the YouTube channel for that. We basically have Black Widow and the guy that makes all Batman's gear in one movie. It's kind of like a superhero movie, a little bit.
Yeah.
So, you got anything else for everyone, Ashton, before I cut this off?
Um, just if it's nice where you guys are at, put on some sunscreen. That's all I
Go
got.
get some sun, some vitamin D.
Yeah.
That's it for you guys for our Nerd Swag Nerd Chat episode 2. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you, Ashton. I want to give you a big applause. Um, this is something that we would like to do weekly. It might not always be me and Ashton. It could be Ashton and somebody else. It could be me and somebody else. But we want to get the community involved. So if you would like to join us for one of these nerd chats, send us a message, send us an email, comment in the comment section, and maybe you could co-host with me or co-host with Ashton in the future. Um, that's it for us, guys. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and we'll see you guys next time.